Hello, my name is Olivia Small. Just a brief introduction about myself. I graduated in May. I am the oldest of five children. I've got four younger brothers, and I am just ready to get out and start my career job instead of working part time and not bringing in the amount of money that I would like for myself right now. So the culture that I researched was Africa. So I'm going to start out with a few statistics. Less than 12% of African children currently have access to childhood education. Of 76% of children entering primary school each year, 38% experience moderate or severe malnutrition impacting their psychomotor and cognitive development. So basically it's saying like their environment affects their learning. So that kind of ties back to the United States. For some people, how they grow up in their environment and it affects how they learn. Not saying that's for everyone, but for some people, if they grow up in like a bad neighborhood and that's all they see, that's going to affect how they learn and how it's going to affect them in their life later on. So from my first resource, UNESCO.org, it talked about basic education in Africa. So basically talks about like what they're trying to do. So it's to seek support for a holistic and comprehensive reform of basic education to assist countries in achieving education for all in 2015. So that's basically like sort of a background of what they do. And so what they also do is they promote 9 to 10 years of free and uninterrupted basic education of quality education and is linked to 2 years of preschool education. So basically what they do is they give you 2 years of free preschool education and an additional 9 to 10 years of primary school education. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be as much as what we get in the United States, but at least it is some education. My next resource is from schoolsforafrica.org, and it basically was telling me like their values in Africa, what they value for education. So there's a high value of education in Africa. So what it does, it represents like their only way out of poverty because if they don't have education, all they have is what they grew up on. So if they grow up in poverty, more than likely adulthood, they're going to be in poverty. And so that's not what parents want for their kids, and I'm pretty sure that's not what children want for themselves when they grow up. So the only way that they can get out is if they can read, write, do basic math. That's their only hope of getting out of poverty. And so, I mean, that's why they value education so much because they don't want to be stuck in the same place year after year. And some of their code of conduct, it's pretty similar to the United States. I got this from the South African Democratic Teachers Union. So I just took a few that had like 20, so I only took like maybe 3 or 4 because it was a lot. And basically, it was all repeating the same thing. So one of the ones that I chose was that teachers may not take advantage of their professional position. So basically, like in some cases in America, teachers take advantage of their position as teachers. Like they try to get over on students, or they build like relationships with students that aren't professional. So that's basically what they're saying for the code of conduct for teachers in Africa, is to make sure that you maintain your professional position as a teacher and that you're there to teach the children and to better their lives. And another one is the teachers may not accept any form of pay for tutoring. So whereas in America we have like you have Sylvan, you have Kumon, like different types of places for learning, and you take your child there and you pay for those sessions. In Africa, you don't pay for tutoring. Although there still is tutoring after school here in America, there's like free after school tutoring. Those people don't get paid, so that's like basically the same thing. You don't get paid for tutoring. You don't accept any type of money for tutoring. And basically, the last one is pretty much the biggest one, I think, is that when you're teaching, you have respect for every student that you teach. You treat them all the same, no matter if one learns a little slower than the other. Each child should be treated the same, in the same manner, in the same respect. So basically, it's just like the same thing here in America. You know, be respectful, show compassion, and you actually want to teach and to better your children so that they get out of the situation that they're currently in. So that's pretty much it. Just the differences between teaching in Africa and teaching here. Of course, their classroom settings are completely different. Um, in Africa, their settings, their classrooms are a lot bigger and are of different ages, so it's a little difficult. And I don't think the classes last as long as ours do. Just like we have like grades from kindergarten up to 12th grade, you know, and nice, well cleaned classrooms, you know, air conditioning, heat. We have a whiteboard, we have nice desks, nice books, pencil, pens, and paper, and things of that nature. In Africa, it's not like that. So in some classes, it might just be like maybe a little shack or something like that, a chalkboard, a little bit of paper, um, old desks that have been donated, things like that. So I really got to see like some of the pictures of the difference between the American classroom and the African classroom. It makes you realize that, you know, even though they're less fortunate, they still want to learn no matter what their situation is. So I feel like it's important that we do research different types of education and how they learn, and that even though I learned in a nice, well groomed classroom, that a person that learned in a less attractive classroom, we both have just the same amount of education, and that person might end up being smarter than me. You know, you never know. So I don't think that it's good to judge a child on how they got their education. As long as they have one, that's all that matters. As long as they have an education to better themselves, that is all that matters. And that is the end of my presentation. So thank you.